guys, today we're going to be making something that's going to be pretty awesome and different, because I know every now and then we probably get a little bit peckish. So we're going to be making some squash dogs. Yep, I said squash dogs. Alrighty, so first thing that you're going to need is some butternut squash, and I cut this butternut squash. I just use half of it and then half of it again. Then when you cut these down, you're going to cut these into some really nice chunks. So you cut this portion here, you cut that in half because you want some really nice thick squares when you do this. Okay, so you cut up as many squares as you want. If you just want to test it out with one, then you just get your little piece and cut it down, okay? But you're going to start off with your butternut squash. Boil your butternut squash as if you were boiling hot dogs. So you're going to boil it until it gets soft, but you don't want it to get too soft or mushy. So you want to still have a slight firm texture to it before you take it out of the water. Okay. Here we're gonna boil down our squash until it's very soft. What you see floating around, and I just put a few herbs inside of it. You don't have to do that. If you do, it's completely up to you. You can just use some plain water and boil down your squash because we're gonna let this marinate. You'll need some ginger and some shallots, so they're going to be cut up really small because it's all going to be put inside of your marinated mixture. So this is like half of a small shallot. The shallot is about let's see, I measure with my hand, right? That's about 1.5 inches long. I'm going to use half of that. And so same thing with the ginger. I'm putting in half a teaspoon of some chipotle flakes, and that's a cup of water, and then it's a 1/4 cup of coconut ginger. Coconut ginger is actually really easy to make. All you'll need is some coconut water. You can add a little bit more sugar to it and then just let it ferment. Okay? And now we're going to need 1/2 tablespoon of some agave. And 1/4 teaspoon of some onion powder. Yeah, that's all you're going to need. Some of mine actually spilled out. And you're going to let that get hot. Don't boil it. Bring it to a nice little simmer, and then turn it off and let it completely cool off before you put your squash inside of it. And then you're going to marinate it overnight or for 24 hours, and then I'll be back. Here's the squash inside of the marinade. Just make sure that when you're cutting up your squash that you do not cut it too small or too thin, because if you do in your initial preparation, when you're boiling it down, it's going to get too mushy and it's going to break apart. So you want some really nice chunks. In fact, let me show you this. You want a nice chunk like this, okay? And that's what we're going to let sit and marinate. If you want, you can add a little bit more agave to this to sweeten it up, or you can use some coconut, not coconut, but some date sugar inside of this if you want, in place of the agave. So that's going to be completely up to you. Okay? And we're back. Our squash is set overnight in the marinade, and it's good and well seasoned. So now I'm going to take one out, and I'm going to fry some inside of its sauce. And while that's going to be frying, well, I'm also going to fry it with a few pieces of onion. And while that's frying, I'm gonna prepare my my bun. And here we go. So by the time your onions are ready, your squash will be ready to take out too. And you smell that seasoning. It smells so good as it went all through that. The smell is going to be really nice, and I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy this. But we're going to let the onions cook down a little bit more, almost to like a caramelization, okay? Without burning or scorching your vegetables or your pot. Here's everything that's gonna go on my sandwich. So I have my buns that I made. I'm gonna put a piece of lettuce. I have my tomato sauce that I have made that's left over, and then I have my coconut butter. This is not your average coconut butter. This is not just oil. Let me show you this. This is coconut butter. That's not oil. Not oil at all. That's coconut shreds. So after you've made your coconut milk, you use your coconut shreds and a little bit of coconut oil, a little sea salt, and then I usually put in like a little bit of basil, but that's another story. Alrighty, so we'll be checking on our squash in a moment. Alright, so this is about done. I decided I wanted to put some spring onions on this also. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this eye off and layer everything onto my bun. Here we go, guys, all assembled. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to cut this in half. And enjoy it. And yes, that is a homemade made piece of bread there. Hope you enjoy.